All right, thanks. Cool. So, yeah, as far as this, okay, I see it. Yeah. So one of the things that I've learned as a coordinator, especially with my first year, is if you got a team, no matter big or small, one of the biggest things is that you need to be able to set and create not only the vision for the team, but also talk about their individual visions as well, and why um, their participation with the team is going to contribute to them, succeeding and seeing their visions come to fruition. So, one of the biggest things that I pride myself on as a coordinator is just setting the correct expectations for a lot of people that are going to be on my team. And what I mean by expectations is it was kind of hit on a little bit earlier about what a say new rep or on the team is expected to do in terms of how they're going to contribute to the team, whether it be what shows they're going to work, what shows are not going to work initially. I always tell people that are coming on my team, what I expect from our people are people that are hungry, people that actually want to go out and add shows and add booth space and add CPO to the team. And when I say hungry, I'm talking about me not having to mouth feed you different events and things that are going to be happening, but you actually going out searching for different events on your own, and then also doing those events and having me book them and add more CPO to the team. That's one way for them to kind of rise up in the pecking order in terms of picking different shifts for the bigger events. So right off the back, I set the expectations pretty high, and the reason I do that is because I came. I tell them all the time. When I first started, the first thing I did, first show I did, I lost money. So I let them know that the only reason that I am where I am today is because I kept going, and I was the type of person that was going to come out and look for my own events. And if I needed to book it on my own, then I booked it through my own with the guidance of Mike Dowett. And Mike Dowett has been a great teacher for me too. But the other thing I like to do too, along with expectations, is the business plan. So not only do I set out my own business plan, but I actually go through every one of the people on my team business plan for the year too, and kind of help them see, what they're visualizing for the year, both personally and also with the team. And I think that's really powerful to sit with them and take that time that they need to map out their vision for the year, both personally with their own goals, but then also with how they're going to create or how they're going to contribute to the team as well. So the other thing I like to do is when I'm when I'm talking to our district managers that are trying to feed us some of the CSPs that can be potential members on the team, I just don't like when they just say, hey, I got so and so, they need to be on the Fair and Show team. No, I need to know why. I need to know like what they're gonna do, like why they actually want to be in this program, where they're at in sales, and all that good stuff. Like how are they actually going to contribute to our team in a much more substantive way than just adding CPO. Okay, you don't want to get people on your team that are not going to jail. You don't want to get people on your team that have that are just hard to work with. And so I've actually set the expectations with our district managers in our division to let them know that this is not something that everybody get to do. It's a privilege to be on this team, and I want people that are going to work well and have a team mindset. Uh, the last thing is we're always talking about constant advanced training in our division, and that can be in the form of so many different things. But one thing I pride all of our team members to do is, or I say, is to make sure they come and see us at our major events and see this high-powered selling, because when they do see that, it just gives them the motivation and it gives them the drive, and it gives them the umph that they need. I couldn't figure out the word I was looking for, but it gives them what they need to want to do the same thing that we're doing when we're doing those major events. I'm in development right now of talking to our division managers in our region and also our district managers of creating an actual position where it's called a CSP development manager. And so for those people that are not going to be doing branching, or they're not going to be districting, Well, we want to get those cream of the crop people that don't want to go that path. And so it'd be nice maybe if we had a CSP development manager that will stay on top of that, and it's an actual paid salary position, similar to like a branch, or, I mean, not salary, but it's similar to like a branch position or district manager position. And they'll funnel the type of people that we want on our events team to, represent not only our team in a CPO setting, but also professionally as well. So to wrap it all up real quick in terms of vision, those are things that I feel like I've hit on in 2017 to create that vision and look at it from a long-term view versus just year by year. Okay, so those will be the topics that I would say that helped us in terms of creating our big vision there. Thanks.
All right. So yeah, super fired up to give this talk. Again, our success last year wasn't me alone. Again, it was our team, and Sean being the co-coordinator really helped out. I also want to thank Josh for his divisional coaching calls. Made a huge difference for us, and we're very thankful that he was able to do that, and also for Josh and Dave for letting me get to speak to everybody today with everybody in the room, just some superstars. This is awesome. So I'm speaking from a point of the last 5 years when I took over the Cavalier division that, again, we were just in a maintaining stage. So the growth was just because we got better as a team, but as far as never had explosion, the number of shows, and then the team growth as well. So that's what we, in 2017, there's 3 main points that I want to share with everybody that was brand new for us and really helped us have a double growth in many areas, and looking forward in this year to just doing Cutco part-time to doing it full-time and lighting up the world just like everybody else in this room is doing. So that's great. So it's 3 main points. The first one is challenge yourself and your team to be committed to the future. So it was this time last year that my team pulled me aside at NET meeting and said, you know what, you've done a decent job. You've maintained and we've had a little bit of growth, but we're really ready to take it to the next level, and we want to blow things up. And they challenged me, said, hey, if you're not willing to do that, then maybe it's a different direction for you. And so I took that as a personal challenge, and again, they would agree that, again, took that to the next level last year, and then this year a whole nother level. Outside of that, create the next point to that, create leadership positions and share future leadership positions with people on the team. Jason Jeffrey yesterday talked about delegating. So again, if you're not trusting the team, you're not growing the team. And a couple positions that we created was an event specialist, which again helped us take us from 42 events to 99, which we're looking to do over 150 this year. So again, just getting started there, and Kip has been great as far as helping us out there. And then a training specialist, which was been Mike Totora this last year, with helping with onboarding, running meetings. But again, that delegation was a huge part of our success. The next point, communicating on every call and team meeting the vision looks like. So everybody needs to be understand what we're trying to accomplish and why we're trying to accomplish it. And so again, they can be tied in. And then also create strong culture of policies, communicate at the beginning of the year and throughout the year that you want to make sure you're doing as well. Again, without things slipping, it hurts the integrity of the team, and trust is lost. And once your trust is lost with your team, again, it's hard to gain that back. And the last point of that is share a vision on everybody on the team to get everybody tied in to the vision, and so they're bought in on that. So point number 2, create an environment of continued learning and growth. So I believe mentoring people on your team and creating a collaborative training environment is important. So a lot of the leaders on the team have taken some of our newer people and have mentored them, which has been great. And whether they're officially on the program, they're over 50K and they can be on the mentoring program, or they're under 50. Again, we've just taken them under our wing and helped them grow, and saved a lot of reps that way as well that were literally out of the business, a foot and a half out, and we brought them back in, which was great. Cross-training, national conferences, having a mentor. So I'm excited we have 6 team members here. So that's, a lot more than even last year, but our team is mentored with and cross-trained with some of the best people in the entire company, with Josh, with JPB, Luke Mills, Gons, and again, the list continues to grow. And all of us are committed to doing that this year and having a mentor of our own. I know I'm going to be part of Josh's mentoring group, Luke Mills. Super fired up about that as well. And then the last point is involve the team in meetings, decisions, and goals. So let everyone have a voice to a certain extent, but again, let them, their opinions, their ideas be heard, shared, and again, you'd be surprised what they bring to the table. Some pretty awesome ideas. Also, talk to everyone on the team about their ultimate work schedule. So we knew with the summer, again, having massive growth for us personally, that we would want to make sure we didn't burn everybody out, and also make sure that they're on the same page of what they're looking to accomplish for their ultimate goals and what the year looks like for them. So that really helped out, so that, again, we knew not to overextend, but to push it as far as we could. And then to get the team involved with growing the program through max out days. If you've never done that, it's awesome. We booked 30 new shows just in one day, just getting the team together, spending a half day and getting everybody involved, and they were excited about that, helping it grow. So outside of that, just excited to be among the elite and grow this program and, again, give back, the last 20 years in a bigger way than I ever have. So thanks for your time.
I appreciate it. Real quick, what was the second point? Do you tell me that one more time on the last talk? Yeah, your second point, Rob. It was create an environment continually. That's like freaking poetry. That's literally the best thing I've heard, other than maybe Brandon's talk yesterday, because that was baller. All right, here's the thing. When it comes down to vision, this is such a big topic, and you can go so many different directions with it. But like Josh said, the very first meeting I ever ran, I just remember telling the guys that you guys in front of me, these FSMs and reps, you are the highest and best calling of what DMs and branches try to create every single day. I was like, you guys are the Texoma Titans. Like we as a team, and that original vision was just that as a team in that room, no office could compete with us. We may tab for different offices, but if you just take our team sales versus any district office, nobody runs with us. Nobody runs with us. And that was kind of that original vision. And it wasn't super clear, but it was something that it was talking long term. And I think if you wanted to take one theme away about vision that you've heard all the speakers reference, it's vision is about long term. Okay? Goals are your next 12 to 16 months. What are you going to sell? What are you going to add? What are you going to do? Okay? And the goals are the what. It's like the what are you going to sell. Vision is the next 3 to 5 years. Vision is the why. Okay? So your goal is to sell $2 million this year. Why? That's the vision. Okay? So if you're not sure how to frame or even set the vision, you need to ask yourself, for all the goals you're promoting, why do those goals matter? Why should people care? Once you do that, you're well on your way to establishing the vision that you have for your team. The best advice I ever got on this was, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, Josh Muller, and he always is great to credit whoever originally said it, but I heard it from him, so to me it's always Josh Muller, okay? But he said, your vision needs to be big enough for each individual person's vision to exist inside it. The vision you have, I'm going to say that again, that's better than y'all realize. Okay, it's Josh Muller. All right, it was on the mic, it's official. The vision you have for your organization needs to be big enough for each individual person's vision to exist inside it. And that's so powerful. It's so significant. And it allows you to start to think and talk and plan long term. When you start having this BHAG, this big, hairy, audacious goal, this large, scary thing, well, all of a sudden these people on your team that are trying to sell $400,000 in a year, they see how that is a meaningful part, and they see how that is not going to take away from the experience of what they're doing in their own life or their own business or their own personal goals, but how they can still be a part of something bigger, something grander, something greater. When John Israel moved to Dallas, I asked if I could take him to lunch just so I could kind of, get to know him better, lay out the plan. I had been around him socially, but I didn't know him as well as I'd like to. And that lunch was great. What was supposed to be 45 minutes, he had a hard out, became 3.5 hours, and it was awesome. And I just remember asking him, the question I asked him was this. I said, hey, John, over the next 3 years, in a perfect world, how would you like to see the events department or your work in our events team fitting into your business and your life? And that was my question. And he literally looked at me and he goes, I mean, honestly, man, I'm probably going to be writing a book. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. I don't even know if I'll do events in the next 3 years. I said, that's fine. But if you were to do events, what would be the version of it that you would be excited about? What's your wish list? You know, I'm genuinely curious. And on one side, that also helps me get a sense for what his expectations were, which is also powerful, and that's a different conversation. But, you know, it was a very productive conversation. And I got to tell you, it fired me up. Like, actually hearing the vision he had where he's like, man, you know, if I could contribute in this way, or I could be a part of this, or I could do enough to earn the right, and I could be a part of the State Fair of Texas, and, you know, all these other different things. And at the end of it, I said, hey, man, that was incredible. That was amazing. And I said, and you know, here's based on our policies, you know, here's where we can give, and here's the areas that we can't. We probably can't give you that. But I think we could get to somewhere in the middle that would be really powerful. And I know we'd be better for having you. And it was such a great conversation. That's why it lasted 3.5 hours. That was all per John. Part of your vision, you have to identify your core values, okay? Pato mentioned that your policies should adapt and change as they need to. We used to have certain policies in place about like sales standards, and what I'll tell you is this: if a top CSP that sells $400,000 a year but travels for 6 weeks at a time moved to your division, would you actually enforce a policy that said you had to hit bonus every month or you're off the team? And the answer is no. Of course you wouldn't. That's insanity, okay? So that means that you're not operating, you're not being congruent. Okay? So for us, we had to sort of challenge those things and decide what are the core values that we can compare things against. Your vision and your core values are intrinsically linked. I won't, you know, time won't allow that to be unpacked much more. But I can tell you in our team, we know our core values. Okay? We don't have some great acronym. It's not pithy. It doesn't roll off the tongue, but it's pretty simple. We're humble and hungry. Okay? We know we're good. We know we're motivated, but we never assume we have the best answer to anything. Okay? We're humble and hungry. We believe a rising tide raises all ships. We don't think one person's success comes at our expense. Okay? By the way, I hope every team in this room does $3 million next year. And if you do, we're going to do 4. But your success will not negatively impact ours. We want everyone to do well here. And the last thing is inclusiveness. And that comes from our division manager. God bless our division manager. There aren't that many division managers. And you know what? No. I have my division managers here. God bless our CSPs, okay? God bless our CSPs. There aren't that many that would allow a district manager to come into this space because every one of their CSPs knows they're a better rep than I am. And by the way, I know it too. I'm good. I'm not as good as you guys are, okay? But because we have this inclusiveness as a priority, you know, we have room for everyone. And by the way, that's why like sometimes people poke at us that we, like when we get an award, we bring Curtis on stage. You know why? Because Curtis is a mentor. He's an advisor. He's a sounding block to us. We invite him to come and work at the State Fair of Texas. He earns that right, and we're better for him. And we do that with Luke. We do that with many people. We do that with Josh. We've done that with Pato. And we're not threatened by that. Like, we're better because of that. Inclusiveness is important to us. It's one of our core values, okay? Guys, the last thing is this, the B hack. Josh already kind of referenced this, but I think it's the only time I've ever even shocked Josh Mueller, because this was a year ago when I said, you know, he said, what's the vision? And I said, oh man, I see it as clear as day. It's $3 million. And you know, we were coming off a year that we had done 1.6 million or 1.7, and so to say, yeah, we're going to do 3 million in a few years, but I saw it clear as day, and I see it just as clearly now. We had doubled in 3 years, and I said, we're going to double again in 3 years. And he's like, how? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have that. I know why. I know we're going to do it because it's impossible. Having that vision of a silver cup, that was a powerful thing for our team. And so I know a lot of y'all just, like, your eyes probably could not have rolled further back in your head when we awarded ourselves a silver cup. Like, people are like, why is the cup smaller? And I'm like, because that crap's expensive when you buy it yourself. Okay? That's all I have to say about that. Become a pillar in your division that you already are. Bind your team together with a powerful, compelling vision. And guys, here's the big thing I want you to understand. Once you have that vision locked down, that's when your team gets an identity. That's when your team develops an identity. Rocky Mountain has an identity. LA has an identity. When you have a vision, your team gets an identity. And that's when people start to see you bigger and they take you more seriously. I have our region manager as a guest speaker on one of our upcoming calls. You know why? Because I told him we're a big freaking deal and you need to be on this thing. Okay, and his answer to that's like, okay. All right, you're bigger, you're more significant, you're more important, and all of a sudden, you become an integral pillar in the division. You are more important than any district office. I can assure you of that. That's how you get big, you get organized, you get professional, and this becomes this giant vision, this giant team that as many people can be a part of as possible. That's all.